Hey, welcome to another video. I have no plan. I just turned it on. I'm recording. I want to talk a little bit about pick technique or plectrum technique, which I have none. But I thought it might be an interesting little thing to talk about. So I have an unorthodox technique, the way that I approach guitar playing. I'm not, reinventing the wheel or nothing. If anything, I'm doing it all wrong. But so when I find that when I play fast, like something like when I do something like that, I'm less back and forth or even straight down. I tend to go up and down. So if you hear, with the guitar on, I'm not sure how loud this is coming across on the audio, but with the volume up, you're hearing, they put a little overdrive on it. So I'm going to do it my way. So what I'm doing there, if you turn the volume off, listen for these clicks. Hear the little, that's because my hand is moving up and down. And it's just the way I play. And I do the same thing when I'm playing leads. For example, let's take a you turn the volume off, you got hear that little, that's me playing up and down. I'm going to edit in a close-up of that. So you see, it's kind of weird the way I do that. It's just the way that I approach things. I never took the time to learn. Do I do alternate picking? Of course. But when I do alternate picking, it's the same. I do the same thing. So this is just downstrokes. And this is alternate picking. Sloppy, I know, but you see what I'm saying. And here it is with volume. And it's just how it came about for me. No one taught me that. It was just the way that I ended up playing. And so I guess what I'm saying here is make things work for you. Make it... again, that's not a technique that I even teach people, and I'm not trying to teach it to you. I'm just pointing it out. If you've watched some of my old videos, especially the really older ones, you can really hear that and when I'm playing it, and it's annoying to me, so I know it's probably annoying to you. It doesn't bother me. The only time it ever bothers me is when I started doing videos like this. Now, when I play acoustic, let me grab my acoustic. Okay, here's my acoustic. It's a 1980 Dion. It's the first nice acoustic guitar I ever owned. I bought it when I was 16 years old. So do the math. 1980, 2026. I'm not doing the math, you do it. But I want you to see something. Can you see these wear marks here, here, and here? Guess what that's from? Let me get a guitar pick and I'll show you. That's from my, tilt this down. That's from my playing style. So these obviously are scrape marks from this, but I also do like a, and you can hear the, now the good thing is on an acoustic, there's more space. You got a lot more clearance. Can you see that? Maybe not, but you have a lot more clearance from the string to the top of the guitar than you do like on a tele or something of that nature. But it's still there. So I've got to be, I try to focus on my hand being over the sound hole so that when I do that, I try not to, so you get less of that. Because I have a pickup that's piezo that's mounted underneath the bridge here. So the closer you get to that bridge, the more you hear those funky things when it's amplified. But I still do it. I've always done it. It's just the way that I play. It's just inherent to how I do it. Now, does that mean that you should do it? No. Does it mean you shouldn't do it? Subjective. I just wanted to make a little video reaching that because some people tell me when I teach, I'm not a teacher, I'm a shower, that they will ask me, well, how do you do this? And how do you do that? Sometimes it's things I don't even realize I'm doing. Muting techniques even. I will, you know, I know I've pushed muting on my channel, but I don't necessarily show you how to do it. And it's not because I don't want to or try to keep a secret. It's because I'm not sure how to teach. I can show you, I can teach you the physics of it. You, instead of having that, you've got that. And you know, that's just where you take the meat of your palm, place it against the strings at the bridge. Not so much that it kills it, but just that you still get tone. It's not, you got tone, but it's also not, and there's a time and a place for that. In Black Roses, the solo I do is that. Well, as I'm doing that, I'm slowly unmuting, and I also mute with my right hand, or left hand. So not only am I muting with my right palm, but I'm picking the strings up slightly. So if I only, no right hand, just left hand, you got. So it's a combination of the two. And I can't teach that. Someone probably can. I can just tell you what I'm doing, and I could try to show you. If we were in person, maybe it's something that I could maybe be a little more, you know, explain things a little better, kind of like I'm doing now. Anyway, so that's just something I wanted to talk about, was pick technique. Even when I do leads on the acoustic, you can hear that. You know, it's there. And it's just my flaw. And it's the way I do it. And I can't stop doing it. Instead of playing, it never came natural to me, or at least I never tried to make myself play. And when I hold the pick, this is how I hold it. So there is my fingers. Can't turn my hand that way. That's where I'm gripping my pick. I don't, you know, I don't do this. I don't do this. You know, my natural, if I just pick it up, there's probably about a good half an inch of pick that's poking out of there. And then a lot of times my finger right there, you can see how it's ground down a little bit. My finger actually hits the strings when I play. And then when I need more attack, then it gets out of the way. So if I'm playing a lead, like the Johnny B. Good Thing. Well, the bottom, it's catching, my hand is catching the tips of my finger and the pick are both hitting that at the same time. But when I do that, Right there, that's all pick. That bend is all pick, and then is the meat in the finger. I'm not trying to teach you how to do that. I'm just saying that's how I do it. So the whole reason for this entire video is pointless. No, is to let you know whatever works for you is fine. And that works for me. I can show you what I'm doing, but I can't teach you what I'm doing. And I think that should be applied to, I'm bending over like a hunchy. I think that should be applied to everything you learn on guitar. Are there certain techniques that you should do properly? Of course there are, with everything. You know, I really hammer in that when you play a bar chord, you want to hear all 6 strings, or 5 or 4. You know, but does it have to be that way all the time? Of course not. There are times when you only want to hear, and then there's times when you want to hear. It's very, you know, that's all part of technique. It's part of what you may be looking for, or what someone else, if you're playing guitar for somebody, if you're in a band and they say, can you make that more chunkier? Well, you might not want to go. You might just want to focus on those first 2 or 3 strings. And I get that. Sometimes it's needed. That's what you want to do. But that's what's lovely about playing guitar is just subtle things like that change the dynamics. And that's what it's all about. Some songs don't need dynamics. It's just fucking balls to the walls. Some songs need dynamics. Veronica is a good example. There are dynamics in Veronica all over the place. The intro. Now imagine if I'd have went. Not the same. You want to hear that. You know, you want to hear that little. You don't want to hear. So it's all about dynamics. So think about that as you progress as a player. I try to incorporate those things into my lessons when I'm showing you stuff. I hope I get it across well. If I do something and you don't understand it, put it in the comments. Tell me. Say, hey, fatty, do it the right way, or tell me what I'm doing wrong. Don't just show me this and let me go, because it doesn't sound the way you make it sound. Now, does that mean that it'll sound the way I do it? No. But I can get you a little closer if that's what you want to do. Just the bottom line to this whole video is there's not there is a wrong way, but however you can accomplish it works. You know, I tell you a lot of times to use certain fingering on chords. If you do it better, like I say, let's take an open A chord. A lot of people do play it this way, but if it's more comfortable for you to use your 3 fingers and do it like that, do it. You know, I just like doing it this way because it also helps incorporate when I go into other chords. I'm used, you know, because you can't do this chord shape, the what I call a second inversion chord shape. You cannot do. I mean, you can, but that's ridiculous. Why would you want to play that same chord that way when you could do it this way? And then that frees up your pinky to go while you hear that from this hand. Okay, that's it. I'm done. It's over. As far as pick technique, you know, whatever works for you works. Thanks for watching.